Hi everyone, Helena here, and I am joined all the way from Scotland because the powers of Zoom by Kate Berry and Jenny Storey, who are award-winning training school directors. You run the Academy in Glasgow and also Urban Retreat Salon because you haven't got enough on your plate.
Oh, I know. And we've just opened a wellness cafe as well.
Goodness, it never stops. So you
And
are.
that's coming this year as well. We're opening another smaller business as well. We just keep adding to the fun. I was going to say to the stress and the pressure, but it's not. It's all fun at times.
All good stress though, all good industry stress. But I think it's quite poignant to hear of what you're doing and you've what you've got coming up because I think you two from reading about you and from watching a previous chat we did with you, you're both so passionate about the beauty and the wellness sectors and also the training of our future professionals and the CPD of our existing pros, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really important in our industry for people to keep current, up to date, and regulated.
Mhm. Absolutely. And in the last couple of years, you launched an extremely successful program, a spa traineeship program. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so we launched 2.5 years
Two and a half
ago
years
with
ago.
the Career Group.
Mhm.
And basically, what it is, there's no apprenticeship scheme in Scotland. So we started a spa therapist traineeship because there's an employment crisis right now, well, still ongoing.
Mhm.
We're in a CIBTAC centre, so we deliver level 2 facial qualifications and level 3 body massage.
Mhm.
So we created this kind of bespoke course specifically for the spa industry, and the hotels invest in people and basically put them through these qualifications, and then they have spa therapists working with them for the foreseeable future.
So Creeder came to us with a direct need.
Yeah.
A lot of their hotels are very lovely Scottish rural hotels and nice wee towns and villages and things. So they were having a real crisis with getting therapists through the door because in these areas there's maybe not colleges in those towns. So the kids that are coming up through the schools maybe have to move out of their town and go to Aberdeen or Inverness or wherever to actually do a beauty course to get any kind of qualification. Again, it's a 2 to 3 year course to get that qualification to come back and work in the spa. So a lot of them didn't have the financial ability to move out the towns or didn't want to leave their families. So there wasn't an opportunity for them to learn and become a spa therapist.
Yeah.
So when we sat down with Creeder and found their pain points, we established a relationship. We had a relationship with CIBTAC, but we sat down with them and we thought, what can we pick? The bits that they need for spa rather than all the beauty, your waxing and your nails and the spa didn't need that. So we tried to focus it. So it's still a qualification. The kids are still getting what they need.
It's still sitting in the national occupational standards. It's still in the framework. It's Ofqual regulated. When people go to college, it's like a full HND. So it's all these multiple units within. This is just 2 separate qualifications that would be in that bubble, if you like. So we're just pulling out exactly what they need for their market.
So it was great for them because they had people who lived locally who could then come and get the opportunity to get a job in some of these beautiful spas, that they probably aspired to work in but didn't think it was ever an option. So they then had that option to come and work in there. So it worked really well with them. They've done at least 2 or 3 different rounds now. Each of the hotels have recruited some more. Those girls have gone on and then they do their CPD. So we also do lots of CPD courses, hot stones, head massage, we can offer. So once they're qualified in their core, work in the spa for a while, learning their skills, then we can then upskill them onto their CPD courses as well. So they're getting a fully rounded spa therapist.
So we now basically train most of the big spas within Scotland. So we've had some people reach out now, funnily enough, from England because, again, the apprenticeships in England are 18 months. It's a full beauty qualification. So people are really keen now because they've heard of how successful this traineeships worked and how these hotels are repeat customers of ours because we're delivering a 5-star therapist. We're quite old school in our delivery. It's like the therapist has her hair tied back, closed-toed shoes, no jewellery, short nails, like setting that professionalism from the start. Absolutely. And then walking them through the 5-star journey. So it's really lovely feedback. Every spa manager and director we've worked with, they can't believe the difference of the spa therapist that we're delivering. And So
because it's so
lovely.
focused on what they want.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a wee bit of that in college and then all the other things, and it's all almost diluted. You know, it's almost like a concentrated kind of qualification on what they need the person to do. And also it kind of it gives them that retention for a while, because once they join the spa, because the spa leaders have paid, or the spa owners have paid for their course, they kind of almost write it into their contract that they have to give them a minimum period of time. So it gives them that time to nurture them and teach them all about the core standards of the hotel group. And so their induction and everything's really important. And it's sometimes bringing people from within the hotel already.
Yeah.
So there may be somebody in housekeeping or somebody in food and beverages or someone who wanted to do that role that's been working for the hotel. They know they're a loyal member of staff. They know their work commitment. And now they're giving them another opportunity to be a spa therapist. And they're like, oh my goodness. So they're then loyal to the hotel because they've been given all these opportunities.
And it's their way of investing in people in their local community as well, creating employment.
Yeah.
Definitely. There's so much value in it. And I attended an event a couple of weeks ago with the NHBF, and there was huge talk around apprenticeships, obviously traineeships in Scotland, but and there were lots of salon owners there that were saying they're having a lot of challenges with their apprenticeships at the moment, because I guess what was being taught in the colleges wasn't practical enough. And I think the difference with you and the feedback that I've seen from your traineeship is that you've both been there, done that, got the t-shirt, you know exactly what's needed. You've worked really closely with each individual spa to know exactly what you need, like you said, the pain points, Kate, and you're tailoring your traineeships to meet their exact need. And that's so valuable, not only for the salon or the spa, but for the trainee themselves, because they're getting such a dedicated hands-on experience, but also that business mindset, which I think is definitely lacking in a lot of college courses. It's the practicalities of being a part of a business that aren't necessarily there.
And even taking it back to basics, thorough consultations, that's at a loss these days. Even when you're doing a simple facial, it's lost the amount of time that's needed into a skin analysis to determine the correct skin type and the protocols. There's so many advanced products in the market these days. If you don't create the right call on that client, you could really damage someone's skin. So it's just well-rounded, thorough training we deliver.
Yeah, it's the fundamentals, it's taking it back to basics, as Jenny says, the proper skin analysis, the ones we do. It's got the full chart, it's got everything on it, all the questions to ask. And then when they come here and they do their commercial training, they do 3 days of just commercial salon time. So they've got the clients one after the other. So they're getting that practice, regularly. It's not like do one and then in 2 weeks' time when you come back to college, we'll do another one. It's giving them everything they need.
Absolutely.
So there's the option of student Mondays as well. So if any of the spas that are close by don't have their mentor on site at the time, then they can come back here and we deliver student Mondays, and it's just like commercial salon days, and we have models back to back with them. So it would be running their own salon, commercial viable time, checking people out at reception. So it's a well-rounded experience.
Yeah.
And the people that aren't close by, we create individual learning plans. So when they're back at spa, they have a spa mentor who follows it with them. They've got their study time, they've got their time that they work on clients, and then they've got their reception time to work out how to work reception, meet and greet members. So it's a real hands-on life experience. It's not just like in college that you get your friend or your mum in to do treatments on.
I mean, it's amazing. I just wanted to touch on some of the feedback that I've been reading, and one was from the spa manager of the Archerfield, and she said that she was a bit worried as to how the apprentices can learn skills that took her years to learn in college. However, she was absolutely blown away by the academy program and the skill set that her learners now have. They've come back from the academy loaded with skills and knowledge they'll need to have a successful career in the spa industry. They're enthusiastic, they're confident, excited to learn and embrace all things spa. So that is just such a beautiful testimonial, isn't it?
It is. It's fantastic. I think the bigger testimonial is the fact that they've just reached out again to send more trainees.
Fantastic.
In our March intake, we've got another few from there, so it's worked for them, and that is literally joy to us when they come back and say, right, it worked, can we do it again?
Turnberry is utilised as now 4 or 5 times. So it is working. It's working, and because it's working so well, we're their point of contact now, which is lovely because then it leads it on to the CPD that we offer, because then we can train their full team up in advanced procedures. So we created the first CIBTAC endorsed menopause massage, CBD massages. So a lot of these spas now are opening their doors to inclusivity, and we're going in training their full teams in these techniques.
Yeah, and again, the introduction to one of the hotels who did that, the Glasgow, we worked with their trainees, and then they trained about 12 members of their staff on menopause, because there was a need for it in the industry. You know, clients are looking
20
for it.
members of their staff. They've done 2 intakes. So yeah, it's nice, and it's nice to see the difference these massages are making in clients as well, because we're actually getting lovely testimonials back from the clients of how well it's working. Some of them are like, thanks for making me feel me again, even if it was for a few days. And so it's nice to think that something we've created is making such a meaningful impact to people.
Absolutely. And as well as the spa traineeship program, you also offer courses covering like we've just said, sort of beauty, holistic, semi-permanent makeup, wellness, and nails as well, with one-to-one options. So how do you manage this? How do you balance this?
We've actually stopped doing the nail element, and we're concentrating now purely on either like the holistics and the micropigmentation side. We are purely a CIBTAC centre now and offer BABTAC or CIBTAC accreditations and CIBTAC qualifications, and that's just because CIBTAC align with our ethics. CIBTAC, the way it works differently with them in comparison to other awarding bodies out there. And not to say there's anything wrong with any other awarding bodies, but other regulated awarding bodies, it tends to be the teacher of the class will then pass their students. We want to keep everything in alignment of our belief system, and it's an external examiner from CIBTAC that comes in and assesses our students. So when our students get a merit, a distinction, etc., we know we're still maintaining those high standards in the industry.
It can be a challenge for us every time a student comes in, every time an examiner comes in, we know we're hitting the mark if they're passing, so it's like that.
Yeah, definitely. And that's really gratifying for you both, because you know that you are delivering exceptional standards qualifications, and you are helping to raise the standards of this industry as a whole, which is so needed.
It's actually globally recognised qualification. The other ones are just UK based. That's a global one that these students within time might want to move away abroad, and it's still recognised.
We're big believers in regulation, with changes coming this year in the regulations, with all your level 4 for things like microneedling, peels, the semi-permanent makeup and things like that. People have to have their level 4 going forward. It's going to affect everything. It's going to affect the industry, insurance. So we wanted to be ahead of the game. So Jenny done all our qualifications again last year, and we're now delivering the courses so people can upskill and get themselves those levels.
And we're really fortunate because we've won CIBTAC Centre of the Year 3 times now for the world's awards. That we're basically going to Holyrood in Parliament to do the campaigning with CIBTAC and BABTAC to
the time campaign, isn't it?
Yes. Scotland this time. Jenny was there last year down in Parliament in London, and we're coming. It's 5th of March in Scotland.
I got that invite through yesterday because I was there in Parliament the last time, but obviously we didn't know each other then. I did see that you were doing it in Scotland in a couple of weeks' time, so that's really exciting and a very positive mood for the industry there as well.
Absolutely.
That's why we want to get that message out there, because a lot of therapists or facialists or whatever don't know it's coming. I think it's still under the radar. It's like we need to shout about it.
It's a shame because people we've had so many students come to us upset because they've invested a lot of money in a training course elsewhere, and it states that it's level 3, etc., but it's not. It's literally a bit of paper they've attended for one day. If it doesn't have that off-qual stamp on it, it's not a regulated qualification.
And in terms of more advice that you can give prospective students or trainees that are watching this, what other than obviously enrolling with the academy, what should they be looking for when it comes to choosing a reputable trainer or training centre for their
they're within the right. It aligns with this time initiative. They're within the right to ask to look at their trainers' qualifications, the trainers' CPD, the insurance of the academy as well, or the training institute that they're going in, to see who's actually physically going to train them, as well as looking for that off-call regulated stamp of approval. And understanding to do like advanced courses, they need to have a pre-requirement, which is their basis foundation of qualification. You can't just work in a completely different field and go and do dermaplaning, or which some people do. It's so unregulated just now, and that's where we're making the moves to go forward, so everybody's safe in what they're doing in clients.
Amazing. And just before we wrap up, just heading back to the practicalities of the spa traineeship program. If I was a spa owner, how would I employ your services and get your support? What are the steps that I would take?
So you would reach out to us either through our website or our social media channels or whatever. Then we would get your students signed up. We would talk you through all the stages, send you over a proposal. We do a wee PowerPoint proposal explaining it all. And then we would get the students signed up. When the student comes to us, they come for practical weeks. So they do the level 2 practical week for 5 days. And then they'll go away back to spa for a week and, like let that digest. And then they'll come back for their level 3 massage, or vice versa. It just depends on what way the courses are round. And then they'll go back to spa, and they'll be back at spa for about 8 weeks, which is their individual learning plan, working with a mentor, studying all their content, which we deliver via Teams.
Commercial salon days.
And then they'll come back here 8 weeks later, and they'll do their exam with the CIBTAC examiner. And then that's when they'll get the certificate. And then that's when they're back, that's when they're qualified to actually hit the floor, basically.
So their exam consists of a theory paper, which is multiple choice, and it's done online, and their practical exam with their examiner.
Brilliant. And my maths isn't quick enough for that, but what's the duration of the entire program?
3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
3 to 4 months.
So
a lot quicker than what it would be normally.
Yeah, it's a lot quicker than 18 months for a full beauty qualification.
Yeah. Definitely, because obviously in England they're trying to reduce that to 8 months from 18, 12 to down to 8 at the moment, because there is such a demand, and because you feel that things are just very spread out now, and it can be condensed with the right kind of program.
And I feel for the colleges, they have to just condense it, but a lot of the time the students are only in half a day or 2 days a week, or 1 week they're not in at all, and then they've got holidays, and so that's why it takes so long. But there must be ways to condense that.
Part of our training is we've got an online theory platform with games, with mock assessments, multiple different methods of study methods, and then they've got a point of contact with a trainer as well. So it's just a different way of delivering the course.
Amazing. Well, it sounds fantastic. So a wonderful opportunity, with also a great career at the end of it, and that longevity and that reassurance for the spa owners as well, that they are getting trainees and future employees that are trained to such an exceptionally high recognised level.
So retention's a huge word just now. Everyone's talking about retention, so I think this gives them a little bit of that. So
absolutely. Well, congratulations on not just all of your awards for creating an amazing program that the testimonials speak for themselves. So excited to see the next steps that come out of the Wellness Centre, and also
and we'll see you.
I have to take a trip up to Glasgow, I think, and check it out. But
absolutely.
well, thank you both so much for your time, and I will pop all of the details in the comments should you wish to learn more about the Academy and its spa traineeship program. So thank you both for joining me.
Thank you so much.